I'm RD with the Weekly Bros.
And I'm Matthew with the Weekly Bros.
And you're listening to
the Weekly Bros.
That sounds horrible. Let's totally use it.
Yeah, it's going in.
We had some big MCU news last week. Some big revelations.
Yeah, man.
Huge revelations.
Let's see here. There was the release of Captain Marvel. The sweet Endgame footage that they had at the end of Captain Marvel.
Yes, that was
and
amazing.
Then by the gods in Valhalla, Odin looking down at us, saying, "Hey, Russo brothers, why don't you go ahead and give the kids a little something, a little something extra,
a little unexpected fucking pre-Easter treat."
You know what? We gave these guys a huge banana split last Friday when we released Captain Marvel. Why don't you throw some cherries on top of that? Okay.
All right. Captain Marvel's a banana split now. I'm trying to. Now I see where you're gonna rank Captain Marvel in the MCU now. She's a banana split.
Is this movie or is this movie not now in your top 5 MCU flicks? Little foreshadowing.
Do you want the answer? Do you want my answer?
No, I don't want the answer right now. I want you to see that in business we call that a tease. So by the end of this podcast, you will know our top 5.
And we won't, no explanations, just top 5. And then when you're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" and I'll be like, "You're a moron," Yep.
Do I really want to put that at number 5 though?
I don't know. You don't have to.
I know.
It's funny looking at I ranked all my movies, all the MCU movies. I ranked them today, and like there's like 2 of them, and like between 10 and 15, where I'm like, God damn, those are good movies. I like those. How the hell did they get down there? But you're like, fuck it, gotta put them someplace. There's just better ones I like, I suppose.
Can I have a tie?
No,
you
tie.
can't have ties. You can't have ties.
There's no crying in baseball either, by the way. So figure it out. Figure it out. Anyways, no. So at the end of the show, we're each gonna tell our top 5 MCU flicks. But for the time being, we're gonna talk about Captain Marvel.
You're goddamn right we are. You know why?
Because it was marvelous.
But before we get started, please take the time to hit that subscribe button and the bell to stay notified of all of our videos right here on Miscellaneous Debris. I couldn't have said it better myself, but I'm going to try. It was marvelous.
Wow, very nice. Very, very well played.
I will say, okay, so full disclosure, we are doing this review a little bit later on in the week, and it's mostly because I wanted to see it a second time, because we went and saw it in Detroit last week, Thursday night.
Yep, opening night.
We both left the theater, and you had the MCU giddiness getting out of the flick, and I didn't like it as much. And it had nothing to do with the fact that Captain Marvel's a female. It had nothing to do with all that bullshit. The reason I didn't like it as much the first time I saw it, and I will preface that, the first time I saw it, was because I had a lot of expectations going into this film that had repercussions for future films.
Right.
And those expectations, not only were they not met, but they were thrown into a blender, hit frappe, thrown out onto I-75.
Nobody uses the frappe button.
Oh, you use the frappe button, boy. It'll change your life, I swear to you.
No one uses that button. It's horrible. Just hit blend. It's a blender. You blend stuff. Get it done with.
I think you're kind of looking at the wrong details here, guy. So my expectations weren't met. Like, I mean, we're going to talk about these more in detail, but I mean, I had plans in my head for the Skrulls later on down the line. You're
talking about future MCU films.
Yeah, future MCU films.
Okay.
I had plans for what I thought was going to be, Kree Skrull war going forward. I had plans for Secret Invasion. And, just a lot of these things, I expected Coulson to be in the movie a lot more than he was. I expected Ronan to be in the movie a lot more than they were. Just because I had those preconceived notions and those preconceived notions weren't met, I felt it was wrong of me to judge the film based on that criteria and how I was feeling at that moment. I went and saw it again today.
No, you did.
And I have to tell you that it's way better than I thought it was. It's way better. I have to give it 2 thumbs up. I'll give it 8.5 bros
8.5 out of 10 bros.
Yeah, and I do if people didn't like it, I highly suggest biting the bullet and going to see it again, because I honestly think that you will enjoy it much more the second time around, or third or fourth or fifth time. Who
Yes, there will be a third time for me.
Yes,
soon.
Mine will
I'm busy.
probably be tomorrow.
Yeah, I would like to go this weekend, but we'll see what happens. But anyways, yes, I was the same way. I left that film I think immediately I liked it, but I don't want to say I was disappointed. I think I was just kind of.
Yeah, disappointment's a strong word. I wouldn't say I was disappointed in it either.
I was definitely not disappointed. I think what the problem was, it kind of when I left, it's so hard to explain. When I left on the high of seeing the post-credits scene, like I was all juiced up. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. But I really liked the film, but I didn't know where it stood. I wasn't sure how it would rank in my films, like how it would stand up against some of my favorites. So, and that's how I judge these films. Like each one, I don't expect it to be better than the one the previous film. I just expect it to be as good as the one that I just want to like it. I don't want it to suck. After seeing it again, I really, really liked the film. I was blown. I mean, it was a lot better the second time around. And I think part of it too, because I wasn't sitting next to some assholes that were bitching about, Brie Larson's feminism crap and how they couldn't believe they were actually there and there's not enough males in the film. And I was like, get the hell out of here. Like, shut up. You obviously don't want to see this fucking film. Like, get away from me and shut up.
I would address all of that stuff on this podcast, but I feel that it's so petty and so beneath us that it's not even worth mentioning.
I got 7 things I want to talk about, and
let's do it.
Will just say up front, I don't want to mention anything about Brie Larson's political views. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I'm talking about the film. So is it in my top 5? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out later.
It's a good question. So, anyways, overall, I really enjoy the fact that as a viewer, you are discovering Carol's backstory along with her. Like, she doesn't know anything about herself. Like, she's discovering it at the same time you are. So as a viewer and a fan, I like that, because you're part of the film. You feel like you've got more attachment to the character that way. So I really like that part. In her origin story of how she got these powers, to me, that was really cool.
I really like the fact that they incorporated a Infinity Stone into her powers.
And if you go back in the past, in some of our past podcasts, I do believe we have talked about this. I believe it was me talking about Project Pegasus and the Tesseract.
You nailed it, buddy. You nailed it.
I didn't know how it was involved, but I did hear that, my sources claimed that it would be involved in the film somehow. It's just a lucky guess, but yes, that's what I thought was going to happen. So I wasn't really sure, but I knew somehow, some way, an Infinity Stone was involved, and it would probably be the Tesseract. It just kind of made logical sense. So
to piggyback on your on the origin story, the flashback scenes, it reminded me a lot of Lost. I mean, it might just be because I was, I'm in the midst of watching the series, but I mean,
Best TV show
they
ever.
did the exact same thing. You're on this journey with the characters, but you don't know the backstory of how they got to be how they are.
Right.
The only difference is that she doesn't know either. But the way that they presented it with the flashback scenes, it made the story more cohesive, and I think they did the same thing in Lost.
No, I agree. They did a great job of just giving a little tidbit here and there, and the way it tied in.
Yep.
Especially the scenes that when she actually shoots a Tesseract and it's exploding onto her.
Or the engine. The Tesseract wasn't in there. It was just the engine.
Yes, it was a core.
The core.
Yeah.
There you go.
So when she shot that, the explosion that takes her, like, they just clipped it together and they edited it in a certain way that throughout the film you just get bits and pieces, and then you don't see the whole complete picture until the end. So I thought that was pretty cool. What'd you think of Brie Larson, though? As Captain Marvel.
So
as a comic fan,
I didn't have any preconceived notions going in. I've enjoyed Brie Larson of the few times I've seen her on film. She was great in 21 Jump Street, and that's really what I base my comparison on.
Well, she's easy on the eyes, that's for sure.
She is. She's quite beautiful. But again, the first time seeing it, I thought she was kind of stiff in her acting. Seeing it a second time, I realized that it's not her acting. It's the character and how the character is reacting to the situations.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, stiffness in the dialogue. It's dry wit. And
Right.
I wasn't expecting it the first time around, so I was a little bit critical of it. But seeing it the second time, I enjoy the hell out of it because, hell, I'm dry and sarcastic 99.9% of the time. So,
right.
I got it. I empathize with it, and I thought I thought she was great. I think she's going to be a great addition to the MCU, and I think that she will get into the role of the Iron Man, RDJ level of acting when it comes
Cool.
to being a superhero. So
Yeah, I thought she was great too. I mean, all those haters that I've been bitching about for weeks, like, trolling her online and trolling the film and, trolling her past, films, like,
completely unnecessary.
it is. I mean, it's just, they're just haters. They're just assholes, right?
Yeah.
So I try to block that out of my mind. Like, I've seen a couple of her films. I saw Room, which I liked, and I saw 21 Jump Street, and she was in Scott Pilgrim, which I saw a little bit of. I didn't have this idea of her being stiff and monotone, and she couldn't, get the emotions out of her face. But I thought she was great. The first time it was a bit slow the first time I saw it, so it did take me the second time, and I could actually, enjoy it a little bit better by myself.
Yep.
So, I mean, I thought she was great, and I loved her.
What did you think of the music in the film?
Oh, that's funny. I just wrote down mentioned soundtrack. Haha.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. I love it. I love it. And it has to be because I'm a child of the fucking 80s and 90s. So,
yep.
I mean, that's like the stuff we grew up on, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
I dug it.
I mean, come on. When you hear Elastica, you're like, this is such a good
Right.
one-hit wonder. And there's when you're watching the film, you're thinking of all these other 90s one-hit wonders coming out. And don't get me wrong, I love me some 90s one-hit wonders. And it's a complete guilty. I won't even say it's a guilty pleasure of mine because I don't give a shit who the fuck knows it. It's great. Like, I'm expecting to hear, Eve 6, and then I'm expecting to hear, the Smashing Pumpkins, and then I'm gonna hear Take on Me, and then Guns N' Roses. It's great. And then they're singing Kiss Me Deadly as karaoke, and we get back to your house, and what the hell's on the radio?
Oh, Lita Ford.
Kiss Me Deadly. I mean, it's
Right.
come on.
It's funny. Yeah, so it's I loved it, man. Between
Top marks, man.
Hole
A
and,
pluses, 5 stars, 10 bros.
that it was definitely Tim Bros.
Yeah.
If there was a thing like going out and buying a soundtrack for a film, didn't we just talk about this, like movie soundtracks? Like, you were trying to get me to guess like what movie?
Yes, I was trying to get you to guess what movie based off the songs.
Right. So, yeah. Anyways, if there was a thing going to Harmony House or fucking something like that and buying a soundtrack,
Oh my God, Harmony House. Holy shit.
I would totally buy this soundtrack. Totally.
Oh man, wasn't there a big huge Harmony House in downtown Ann Arbor?
I don't remember.
Right by Pinball Pete's.
Pinball Pete's.
Shout out to Pinball Pete's.
Yes.
Near the Diag of
it's-
the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor.
I think it's still there.
It's a beautiful campus.
What was the place in the mall by us? The place right by it when you walked in the door on the right hand side.
Oh, Musicland?
Musicland. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
There was Musicland,
So
and there was
fucking old.
Blockbuster Music. There was Tower Records. In L Town, we had Desirable Discs and Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages is still open.
It most certainly is.
So, anyways, yeah. So the soundtrack was amazing, and I fucking loved it. What did you think of? Oh my God, several things here. What about Jude Law? What do you think about some J Law?
I thought I've
the
always
other Jude
enjoyed
Law.
Jude Law as an actor, and even as recently as that King Arthur movie that Guy Ritchie did, that nobody went out and saw for some reason. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a guy.
Oh, did you actually see that?
Dude, it was like Snatch, but for King Arthur. It was great. It was everything you would want to see in a Guy Ritchie film. It's fantastic. But also, he played Dumbledore in Crimes of Grindelwald. I like his acting. I think he's good at it. I like the fact that he's playing Jan Rog. he ends up being the villain, which I think everyone pretty much thought might happen, but I was kind of leaning heavily on the Skrull part. But I thought he was great. I thought that he played the manipulative antagonist really, really well.
No, yeah, I mean, I thought he was great. I mean, I think seeing the trailers and what you kind of hear the buzz about, like, I think, like, I agree, like, everyone thought he was going to be the villain.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was always going to be that start off as a good guy, flip to the bad side, and that's how all the people in Star Force end up eventually becoming villains in the MCU, something like that. But, as far as his character was in the film, I thought it was great. I really liked it, so, I got nothing bad to say about him.
What did you think of the... It might be kind of an unfair question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What did you
I love unfair
think
questions.
of the lack of screen time for the more notable MCU characters like Ronan, Korath, and Coulson?
That's another one. Not enough Ronan. Coulson, I could really care. I don't really care about. I mean, basically, he was just a flunky, in S.H.I.E.L.D., so who cares? Was it cool to see him? Yeah. Yeah, but it was basically a buddy cop movie with Sam Jackson and Brie Larson.
Yeah.
So. But I wanted to see more Ronan, and I guess this was more Ronan, before he became a fanatic and all, but he was just trying to. I'm okay with it, but as the movie progressed, and obviously towards the end, they're totally teasing like Captain Marvel 2, and it's gonna have to involve somehow with Ronan, coming back or trying to find that's a total Captain Marvel 2.
So is Captain Marvel 2 going to be how Ronan becomes Ronan the Accuser, and
maybe
he hates the Xandarians so much?
It's a good question. Yeah, but no, I'd like to see more Ronan. But the other guys, I'm whatever. I'm fine with.
What did you think of Sam Jackson as a young Nick Fury?
Kind of green, kind of doesn't know what the hell's going on. Kind of cool. I liked it. I liked this character. I don't know what else to say. It's fucking Sam Jackson, so it's like everything he does to me is awesome. So I don't really care.
Yeah,
Snakes in a plane's cool.
Yeah,
dug it.
He really can do no wrong, right?
He really can't.
Yeah.
But no, I think Nick Fury is one of the better characters in the MCU, even though he's got a small part to play.
Yeah.
But I think his character may be a small part, but he looms large over everyone, I think.
Yeah.
So. No, I liked it, and I love the fact that you found out how he lost his eye.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's some of the story twists that I think really
spoiler alert
set the movie apart. Yeah. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, why are you listening to this?
Because you probably already heard a couple so far.
Yeah. Right. So the Mar-Vell reveal was very well done with Annette Bening. See, I knew she wasn't playing the Supreme Intelligence.
She was.
She wasn't. She was just the form that the Supreme Intelligence took to talk to Carol Danvers.
But she was also the Supreme Intelligence.
No. She was just the form that the Supreme Intelligence took.
I understand that, but it's... now we're just talking semantics.
Yeah, it's semantic at this point. Anyway.
I think you're wrong.
So the Talos reveal that he's not exactly the villain. He's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's just a guy, The family reveal was pretty sweet at the end. Kind of humanized him a bit.
I love Talos, and I really thought his character brought, especially his. I mean, the Skrulls were kind of, fun when they were being Skrulls, and then after they just became, after he went full frontal, let's say, and just became a Skrull for the rest of the film. It wasn't trying to impersonate, like, the humor he was bringing to the role was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the humor they brought to the Skrulls in general, I thought was really cool.
What did you think of the Skrulls just in general? I thought they were well represented, well done. Practical effects looked good.
Yeah,
I think they hit a home run with it.
I love the practical effects. I wish they would have done more in Infinity War at that, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing, you can't beat a good prosthetic face piece. And Ben Mendelsohn did a great job playing Talos, and I just really thought that, for all the Skrulls, I think it was really cool. I mean, I don't know. I liked them. They were just trying to, spoiler alert, they're just trying to find a new home. They just want to stop being hunted. And, can't blame them.
I did enjoy the Pulp Fiction nod when Talos comes in drinking the milkshake and gives the camera the look, just like how Sam Jackson did in Pulp Fiction when he was eating the.
Is that what he's taking?
Yeah, it's exactly what it
This
is.
a tasty beverage.
Do you mind if I have some of that to wash this down? So going back to the reveals, the Jan Rog reveal, that he's actually the villain, that was well done. How Fury lost his eye, like you said, I'm one of the people that thinks it's fucking funny that the last person he trusted made him lose his eye, and it was a damn cat, aka a flurkin, whatever. I think that's
Flurkin.
fantastic. I know
I
that
thought
some
that was-
people are gonna shit all over that, but I think it's great.
I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Do you want to see him losing it like in some weird battle? I mean, I guess it's kind of cooler, but him
Yeah.
losing it when he's not when he's not serious Nick Fury, and he loses it when
Yeah.
he's like kind of playful and funny Nick Fury. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of better, right?
Although it might have just been a vehicle for him to say "mother flirkin." It may have been, but hey,
Maybe.
I'll take what I can get. And so
We gotta
finally,
get this.
the big
We gotta get
reveal:
this in the movie. What's that?
the Tesseract.
Oh,
The whole entire movie is regarding the damn Tesseract. So you think it's really about Talos trying to find his family, but we all think that he's trying to go for the Tesseract.
more Infinity Stones.
Good reveals.
Every film.
I enjoy them.
I'm trying to think of all the MCU films, like how many don't involve an Infinity Stone. Like
Iron Man ones.
Iron Man's don't. Black Panther doesn't. Ant-Man, the Ant-Man movies. Let's go back to my list of movies here. Maybe I'm missing something.
Winter Soldier didn't.
No, it
Civil
didn't.
War didn't.
That's like half of them. All right, well, there goes my theory. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 didn't. Ugh.
Ragnarok didn't.
Yeah, but Loki steals it back.
Well, yeah, but the whole entire movie wasn't.
All right,
Infinity-
whatever. There goes. Okay, whatever.
Semantics.
Shut up.
Anyway, so is there any other things that you want to point out? I've got one more thing I want to point out.
Well, I mean, the obvious one for me is the post-credit scenes. I like them both. First of all, the funny one at the very, very end with the cat puking up. I knew that was going to happen. I mean,
that was great.
I mean, you knew once he ate the damn thing, he's got to fucking puke it up somehow. And
yeah, right.
And once the cat was inside Nick Fury's office, I knew that would be a post-credit
Yeah,
scene. I was absolutely positively sold 100%. I'm like, this is going to happen in the credits. I'm like, that cat's going to puke that fucking thing up, and I'm going to laugh about it. But, the other huge the other one with the reveal of Captain Marvel, just goes back to me thinking, so when Endgame starts, so just a little, to describe it, all the Avengers after the snap are back at Avengers headquarters with the pager, and it stops beeping. And they're like, well, we need to reboot it or reset it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, all right. And right as they turn around, Captain Marvel's there. And she just says, where's Fury?
Yep.
And boom, back to the credits. So to me, that when Endgame starts, that means Captain Marvel's already there. There's not going to be a big entrance anymore.
Well, what I think that just happens to be a scene in the movie, kind of like how the end of Ant-Man had that scene from Civil War where Bucky was captured and Falcon and Cap are talking to him.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be just a scene, 10 minutes into the movie, but I mean, it might not be the opening of the movie.
I don't like it then. I don't want to see that as a post-credit scene because I think bringing her into the MCU and into the Avengers movies specifically should have a big reveal. And if you do it in that post-credit scene, you can't do it in the film because it won't have the same effect.
Well, if it's the scene in the movie, then it'll have the same effect because then you'll see, how it comes to be.
No, because you already know. It doesn't have the same. It doesn't have the same effect.
I do not subscribe to that, but I respect your opinion, and I will allow you to say it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just what I feel. So
it's all good.
I mean, I'm sure they'll have a reveal somehow, and obviously they are, but damn, I would have liked to have seen it better where, because, in the clip, Scarlett Johansson turns around, and she's the first one to see Captain Marvel, and
Mm-hmm.
that's and Martin. You can see Captain Marvel's face, and she says, "Where's Fury?" I would have liked to have seen the angle from Captain Marvel where they turn around
Okay.
and
All right.
Scarlett Johansson say like, "Who are you?" Something like that. You know, where they leave it ambiguous.
Yeah, I got
They
you.
don't give it away. You know, I don't know.
I got you. I got you. I hear
I mean,
you.
that way you get the fanboys and us fucking people talking about like, oh my god, it's gonna be Captain Marvel, right? Who else could it be? It has to be her. They're talking about the pager, you know.
Well,
So I don't know.
The other two things I wanted to mention was one was I thought it was a nice nod to the whole entire encapsulating of the MCU by changing it from the Protector Initiative to the Avenger Initiative at the end of the film. Once Nick
Hey.
Fury saw the picture of Carol Avenger Danvers.
When Captain America, the first movie, says the first Avenger, is it really the first Avenger?
Well, yeah, because that took place in World War II, and this takes place in 1995.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. All right. Go ahead. What else you got?
And the last thing is that I'm very so knowing how powerful she is at the end of the film. I'm glad that they made note of the fact that she had a power dampener on her neck throughout the entire film. Because if she had all those powers throughout the entire film, there would have been no film. There would have been no story to go along with, because she would have been so powerful. She'd just take care of everybody on the spot,
Right.
and you wouldn't have any
And-
conflict.
And, you know, and I honestly, in the film, I didn't even get that part until Supreme Intelligence was like, what was given can be taken away, and she
Yeah.
said, and then she's like, but you didn't give me these powers, and I'm just like, oh my god, they didn't. And she fucking just, and like, it makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that till the very end.
Yep.
So,
Anyways, yeah. So that was it, man. I'll give it 8.5 bros, 2 thumbs up.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Okay. Solid. It's a solid grade. Solid grade.
Hey, just a little foreshadowing in the future. I'll give it a 9.
If you'd like to reach out to us on these social medias, you can reach us on the Twitters at Rock and the D. You can hit me up at Miscellaneous Debris with 2 underscores. You can reach us both at The Weekly Bros. You can go to our Facebook page, which is Miscellaneous Debris Channel, or you can email us at realweeklybros@gmail.com.